Waiting for it to populate. I probably need to. I'm live.
Twist it up like this. I might show the whole thing.
I did?
Maybe not. No, it doesn't matter.
How many people? Oh, 8. Okay. Can we see? Everybody see? Come on over to this. Come get close. How you doing, guys? I'm just waiting for the people to populate. Got my son here. Big Nick. Big Nick Saunders.
That's right.
Turn it like this. Turn it like this. You know? Waiting for you to populate. I'm getting ready to have a conversation with my son on the air here. My first live, so forgive me if it looks kind of crazy. But just trying to get the hang of it. And I want to share some stuff that I've taught my son and that he's learned from me. And he's going to share his important revelations about what he's learned over the years. You know, him being 19 and me being 58. So I'm going to go back a little bit. Just waiting for it to populate a little bit more. And, you know, just say hello and let me know you're there. I see there's 4 people on there. That's not nearly enough people that need to be impacted by this. But just the same, I'm going to share anyway. Basically, my son, he was around 10 years old and he was overweight. This is long before I was able to do anything with him. He couldn't lose weight. He was being bullied in school. Everything was going wrong academically. It was slipshod. He had no confidence. Anything that could go wrong was going wrong for him. So what happened was I said, look, you know, we got to get this weight off of you. So the first thing we did when he was 10, we got him to lose some weight. You know, it was nutrition that was really, really killing him. You know, he was eating everything. And I have to say this, I was responsible. Nobody else was responsible but me. I mean, I fed them chicken McNuggets, the French fries, got the toy. It was just easy. You know, you're a busy parent. You know, you want to go to McDonald's? Let's get some McDonald's. And they tore the McDonald's up, him and his sister. And what happened was that I looked over at one day, we were at a family reunion in North Carolina, and they had gained so much weight. I was like, I didn't tell them about it, but I noticed it. It was like the first time I actually had looked at them in a long time. And I said, wow, you guys, you know, I said, I got to do something. Well, fast forward. It was around when he was 13 years old, he started really working out with weights. He got really interested in working out with weights. And then he got muscular. He started getting muscular. He started getting stronger. And if you look at him now, he got a little bit of girth to him, you know. He's 19 now, but he was 10 years old at the time. And, you know, we got started. He was weak. He wasn't able to do a lot. He was like saying, I don't know if I can do this, Dad. This is killing me. And he kept going. He kept going. He kept going. He kept going. And he put on, over the past 4 years, easily put on 80 pounds of muscle. That's right. I didn't stutter. 80 pounds of muscle. And that was after losing 50 pounds of fat. Academically, he shot up. Everything changed. He graduated high school at 17, walked the stage at 18. Was it April? Was it May, June, July, August? 4 months later, he was in college, just like that. Became an AB student in college. He's a sophomore now in the University of North Alabama. Everything's changed for him. Certified lifeguard at 15 after losing weight. 16, and then he really began to have that muscle, that muscle mass. It was coming. Then he went on to get involved with his own band, and he plays for his church guitar. He's very, he gets paid to play for his church. And you know, I want to get his take. I don't want to do all the talking because I know what he's done, but I want to get his take on what personal development has done for him. And what he does, what his regimen now of being involved with personal development is, because a lot of people don't realize how important personal development is. They just don't know. They don't know what to do with their kids. Their kids are out of control. they don't listen, and they're wondering why they're not listening. So I'm gonna let Nick share with him what the impact was for him to get involved with personal development. Oh man, there you go, Nick.
Hey everybody. Yeah, you heard my dad. Pretty much, personal development is critical, I'd have to say, in my mental cognitive development as well as my academic. So it's the same thing, but my development as an individual as a whole. When we got started into, my dad used to have us read books and take notes on the books on the chapters that we read. So let's say like the first book, personal development book I believe that he had us read was Darren Hardy, The Compound Effect. And we'd write a summary of each chapter. So like chapter 1, he would write a summary and he'd ask us what were the key things that you learned from that chapter. And we did that the whole entire book. We finished the book and had a profound effect on the way I thought about things. Like it was like basically you have to do things 10 times harder than, or I believe that was one of his books, but they pretty much have the same concept. You have to do things 10 times harder than the average individual to get where you want to be. So I would take that ideal into the gym or into my classes or into my overall way of thinking about things. And I'd say it had a profound effect on my performance in all areas of my life.
I would say too, let me make this clear. One of the books he read too was Grant Cardone, the 10x rule. So he's got him crossing over. The 10x rule talks about doing things 10 times more than what you normally think it would be necessary. So if you're in a business, if you need to make phone calls to attract people to be on your team, you may need to think that you only need to make 10 phone calls, when in fact you might need to make 100 phone calls or contacts throughout the course of a day. If you think you only need to talk to 10 people, you might need to talk to 100 people to get the 10 people that you actually want. So when I look at them, my kids, I said, look, I need to do things differently than my father did with me. My father wasn't big into personal development. My father didn't graduate high school. And I looked at what he was doing as an entrepreneur, being a carpenter. He was a different kind of entrepreneur, but he was an entrepreneur nonetheless. He looked at things differently, and I said, I got to do things differently. If I want my children to be able to rise up and become entrepreneurs or become gifted in school, because they both want to do big things in school. They have not abandoned school, but they understand the ceiling that's in school. You get the student loans and you have to pay these student loans back, and then you have to go ahead and then maybe you can't even get a job in your chosen profession. Well, my daughter wants to be a doctor. Everybody needs a doctor. And she understands the power of nutrition, being that she's already learned because she lost 30 pounds herself. My son understands the power of nutrition. He's learned how important that is, but he's also learned how to set goals. So tell them how you set goals.
All right, basically the way I set a goal is, well, the first thing I do is I write it down, because a goal that's not written down is just a dream. And it's all right to have dreams, but there needs to be an integral time where the dream becomes action. Because actions, Eric Thomas says all the time, action is what causes us to progress. So I'll write it down. Like, so say, for example, I want to get better grades. First thing I did was I wrote down on a piece of paper the steps. Instead of just writing down the goal, I wrote down the steps that I would be able to apply to reach each of those goals. So I wrote down, I believe one of them was get at least 7 hours of sleep a night. Another one was study a chapter ahead of the professor, which is actually something I read in Eric Thomas's book, The Secret to Success. Study ahead of what the professor will write, and I did things like that, and I followed them, and I started off my last semester with a 2.0 GPA. Was like, so basically much all C's. I think I had some D's, and just very piss poor, excuse my French, way of doing school. And next, by the end of that semester, I brought up a lot of the C's to B's, and now I'm in school and I have passed this semester with all A's and B's. So it's pretty much, if you do what you need to do, it's not a problem.
And I can attest to that, because the way that I might set a goal, I had a goal. I haven't shared this with everybody, but I had a goal about some time ago of attaining a bachelor's degree. Why? Because I could do it. Why not? I can get it. It's not going to be a big thing about it. And I set the goal for me to attain a bachelor's degree by October 31st, 2016, which is what I did. All right. Progress now. I'm into the working on my graduate degree now. It's not so much the degrees, because degrees, it's all relative. The schoolwork that I did or that I do has more about being able to apply, dealing with other people, understanding different ideas that I'm not accustomed to. And I don't know why writing papers and researching material had that effect on me, but I can write pretty well, so I just figured I would apply that. But it's more for entrepreneurship is more what I want to do. I don't want to work for anyone else anymore. That's my choice, because I don't have to anymore. Both my kids, their college education is paid for. Both my kids, their books are paid for. So they don't have that. They're not going to be encumbered with all of that student loan debt when they leave. So why not have them have the ability to get that and apply themselves? But make sure that whatever job they select is not only something that they love, but also pays well. You're going to have a job. If you have to have a job, it should at least pay well, and you should at least like doing it. All right? To have a job that pays well, but you hate, that's not good for your health. And to have a job that you love, but doesn't pay very much at all, that's not a good solution anyway, either. People always talk about, money is not important. They say, the Bible says the love of money is the root of all evil. I agree with that. The fact that the love of money is, but let me tell you something else too. You got to have money. If you don't think money is important, go to the electric company the next time your electric bill is due and try to pay them with some love. See how that works for you. You'll be in the dark, So money is important. It's not the end all, but it is important. They say money can't make you happy. I have a disagreement with that as well.
I'm pretty happy with my lights on.
All right, when your lights are on because you paid the bill, you're a happy person. I don't know about you. I wouldn't be as happy. I'd have to make myself happy, but I wouldn't be as happy if they turned my lights off. I'm just using that as an example. Okay?
If it was like this.
Boom, the lights are off now, okay? It's not totally off, but my point to everything is your kids are watching you. They're watching what you do. They don't really care what you say. We all know that. They're not really listening to what you're saying. They'll watch what you're doing. So I'm going to tell my children they need to lose weight, and I've got a portly stomach. I don't eat correctly. Or I was diagnosed with multiple sclerosis and I suddenly gave up. You know what? Son, I'm 52 years old. I got multiple sclerosis. I have an excuse why I can't do anything anymore. But you need to do this. Meanwhile, I'm going to sit over here and give up.
Do as I say, not as I do.
How does that work? Okay? So you want to ask me why is it that I was able to get active fitness champion in Visalis, the company I represent, at 57? Why was I able to come back and jog again after I couldn't jog anymore? Why was I able to go ahead and get a bachelor's degree all these years later and not get it years ago? Because it was simple decisions that I made, and being around positive people, productive people, entrepreneurial people, personal development people that wanted more, better, and greater out of life. I do not want to be around a person that doesn't want anything more than where they're at. If you're satisfied, you're done, then why live? What are the other years? Are you just going to keep adding years onto your life?
Pay taxes and die.
For no damn reason. Okay? So I wanted to share this with my son in this live, my first live, because I wanted you to see the aftermath of what a parent can do to upbuild his kid. You know, he worked hard to get where he's at right now. But somebody had to start the process to have him look this direction. Don't look there, look here. Okay? Read the chapters. Tell me how you're going to use this to affect your life. You know, I don't believe in reading something and not using it. So he read the information. He applied the information. He's built his body up to an incredible degree. His academics are up. His mindset is strong. You listen to him speak. He's articulate. He can get his point across, and he knows where he wants to go. Tell him what you're studying in school and what your aspirations are.
Basically, in school, I'm studying PT. It's basically exercise science, and I'm pretty much studying that because obviously I'm interested in the human body, always have been. Even as a child, when I was overweight, I always liked the idea of just like muscles and tendons and diseases and pathogens and stuff like that. And I pretty much there's no better way to zone in on that than to get your degree in that area of expertise. So I'm pretty much just doing right now trying to get my bachelor's in exercise science, and then there I will move on to higher education, get my master's, and eventually PhD in exercise science or in medicine. I haven't made up my mind completely so far, but that's what I'm zoning in to do over the next 5 to 6 years.
Okay. So I think that, throughout that process, he had an opportunity to meet Nick Sanacola, now the CEO of ViSalus. Then he was the global ambassador of ViSalus. Had a profound effect on him as well. My son dabbled with ViSalus for a while. He made Rising Star Director, okay, boom, boom, okay. And he remembered what it was like to talk to people, do three-way calls, and go to events and be in that kind of an environment. So he's still got some entrepreneurial bones in him. He's not done. He may think he's done, but you ain't done, okay? Because the thing is that my goal was to make sure that they never had to be encumbered with student loan debt ever again. I don't believe in going to school and have to come back out of school and have to pay for what you had to study for over the next 10 years, because you got $50,000, $60,000, $70,000, $80,000, $100,000 worth of debt that you got to pay back in a job you don't even have yet. And then when you get the job, you still got to pay it back. That stuff's got to be paid back. So I'm just proud of what he's done. We're having a great Christmas. Hope you guys are having a Merry Christmas as well. I mean, it's a Christmas Eve, but hey, everybody's getting ready to celebrate. And I would pray that everybody gets started on their New Year's resolutions right now. Don't wait till January 1st. If you're on a health regimen, get the stuff that you need to consume. That's right. I hit with what you eat first. Everybody's got an exercise plan. This person's got an exercise plan. This person's doing Zumba. This person's doing this. This person's doing that. But then they go eat crap. I don't know how it's going to work for you, but if you don't get what you're eating down, all the exercise in the world is not going to have an impact on you. Okay. Many of you know. You can look on my Facebook page. You can see that I'm in ViSalus. I believe in ViSalus. I believe in the products. I do the superfood shake, the cookies, and the snack bars, and like this is superfood. Okay, just buy shake. You got the cookies here. Bottom line is you got to find something that works for you that's systematic. You get up in the morning, you don't even eat breakfast. You don't even eat breakfast, and then you go and you
for fat.
Then you go get some fast food, or you get something out of the vending machine for lunch, and you're jacked up. Then you don't have the right dinner, you jacked up. Then you want to go out and do a Navy SEAL workout at the gym and expect impressive results. You're sore now. You don't go back to the gym again after January 10th. Okay, the gym is going to be packed in January. Then all of a sudden by January 20th, there's going to be nobody in the gym.
People worked themselves and gave up.
They worked and they're already done. So just make sure whatever you do, whether it's ViSalus or whether it's some other thing that you're doing, whether you're vegan or whether you're vegetarian or whether you're eating tree bark, okay? Make sure you're doing something that's going to have an impact on your body nutritionally first and foremost, because nutrition is 80% of what you're trying to get done. The 20%, that's your exercise. And for those of you that are trying to put on muscular body weight, well, I've helped him do it. Okay, I will tell you, work
Buffalo.
You got that black rock, black rhinoceros muscle. You know, you work the major muscle groups of your body. You know, your back, your chest. You know, you do your deadlifts, your pulls, squats, pull-ups. All the things that work the major muscle groups of your body. If you want to put on weight, if that's what you want to do. Because anybody can put on weight. You can eat a whole bunch of garbage. You can be fat as hell. But I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about, you know, work the major muscle groups of your body so you can go ahead and build something. And here's another myth. People say, well, I'm going to turn my fat into muscle. Well, get a piece of steak. You'll see that there's fat on a steak. The fat is white. The muscle meat is red. Now tell me, how would you turn that fat into muscle? Describe to me how you would do that. I'm listening, waiting. It's not going to happen.
Can't do it.
Can't do it. You can reveal muscle, but you can't turn fat into muscle. They're two different items. So for those of you that are trying to lose weight, you need to be on a good nutritional regimen as well. All right, you can run yourself to death. All right, but if you don't have the right stuff going in your body, it's not going to last. You're going to have a situation where suddenly, you know, you lost the weight, and then you end up getting it back because you start eating the same garbage that you ate in the first place that made you overweight to begin with. How can you eat this much food, reduce it, do all this exercise, lose weight, and then go back to eating this much food again and think you're going to stay the same way? How is that possible?
Definition of insanity.
Exactly. So just wanted to share a little bit. Didn't want to be so long. We'll let you go. I hope you all got something out of this. We'll do another live when I have maybe I'll get with my daughter or you know, because she's another person that's really off the chain. But hey man, you know, thanks for sharing.
These are some good cookies. Y'all messed up if y'all don't buy some of these cookies.